Hey guys, what's up? It's Solo. Today we're going to be talking about things we could add to Horde mode to make them better. We're going to have a whole discussion about it, and we're going to actually give some constructive criticism. We're not going to be sitting there and saying, oh, Bungie will never listen, or going on Reddit and acting like every single post there is the reason why Bungie always has faults, because unfortunately, like other YouTubers, I can make content without having to go on Reddit. So, yeah, the basic premise is we're going to take a look at some previous Horde modes, and then we're going to go and basically explore my current feelings when it comes to Horde modes, and I'd love you guys to put your own 2 cents in the comments below, and then we're going to ask ourselves what things we could put into the Horde modes to add a little variety in the future, and basically cover more in detail what those are going to be. But anyway, let's get on with it. Alright, so let's talk with the Horde modes I can remember right off the bat and that I've actually written down, which is including Escalation Protocol, Blind Well, Wellspring, Nightmare Containment, Dares of Eternity, and I want to say that Menagerie was also along those lines. We also had the Splicer events and things along those lines that also fell into that category. And we're gonna just go into the current feelings about Horde modes. So with Horde modes, I've been kind of hit or miss with Bungie, at least with Horde modes, because while we've had some inventive ones, we've also have Nightmare Containment, which was, after it cycled 3 weeks, everybody knew what was going on, and the rest of the season it was kind of just a little slog to get through. Just because, like, especially for the Reaper title, you have to go through like 50 iterations of Nightmare Containment, go to tier 3, and then immediately bind a vestige afterward, and then do that, like I said, 50 times to get the Reaper title. So a little bit of a slog for that one, and everybody's like, bring back Escalation Protocol, bring back and that's the thing, is you're asking to bring back basically another Horde mode that has the same kind of thing, except even less. And I get that Escalation Protocol had the weapons behind it for that, like the Escalation Protocol shotgun and the sniper, but I don't think that's exactly 100% worth bringing it back at this point. So that leads us to the next question, which we'll do in the next part. Okay, so the big question is how could we add variety to Horde modes? And this question is also open to you guys to answer in the comments if you have any ideas regarding Horde modes, but here is just mine. So number one is going to have to be different locations, and what I mean by this is, like, for example, with the forges, we had about 4 locations, including the Berguzia Forge, and so that meant we were actually actively allowed to go to different places, and it added more variety rather than just being stuck in one place on a rotation. So that could add more variety, but I definitely would like to see it along the lines of how, like, PvP and Gambit works, where we are cycling out maps and rotations every time you're playing a new one. That would actually probably make it a lot better. Then number 2 is going to be more bosses and enemies. And what I mean by this is I don't want it to be like a rotation of, oh, these 3 bosses every reset. I want it to be like, oh, here is this boss that's Hive, but in like 3 resets, it's not going to be the same Hive boss. It's going to be a different one that has a different mechanic. And that would actually add a lot more variety, because it would give us more bosses rather than having 3 cycling in and out throughout the season. Because after 3 rotations, you've seen all of the bosses. Number 3 is going to be actually something I took from Risk of Rain 2, which is the longer you play. So think of the Horde mode like if it was a run time in Risk of Rain 2, where the premise of Risk of Rain 2 is the longest you can do a run, and going through each level, getting, modifiers and upgrades and stuff like that, which we'll get to in the next point. But basically, the longer you're playing the Horde mode, the harder it gets. And the harder it gets, the more rewards you can get by the end of it. I think that would be a really cool premise, because you could sit there and like start it up, and then by the end, like, you could maybe get like exotics and like high rolls and stuff like that. So I think that'd be cool. And then the final point, before anything else, is going to be modifiers, which this could be like debuffs, buffs, things like that you could collect throughout the rounds, or that will be given before rounds, and it just adds a new level of difficulty onto the game. And I get people are going to be like, well, modifiers have an issue because like match game, things like that are not fun, blah blah blah, along those lines. And my theory with it is that there's a lot of things you can add to the Horde mode to make it harder, and also to give players buffs that aren't just the normal modifiers. And I feel like it'd be a different set of modifiers, or edited ones from ones we've seen that they could add. But I definitely think at least those 4 points are something that they could do to make the Horde modes a lot better and a lot, more, I guess, viable. So yeah, let's head into the summary. Alright, so let's get into the summary. So basically, the summary of all this is that this is just to open a discussion about Horde modes and how it can be improved. And I'm not sitting here inviting comments that are like, oh, Bungie's really bad, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what this is about. This is about things we can do to improve the game mode, rather than just simply sitting there and just crapping on the Destiny devs. Because we don't do that here. We like to keep it civil here, of course. And I get that, like, there's other YouTubers, like I said, that are browsing Reddit that are like, oh, this is bad, and I'm not here to do that. I'm here to actually give suggestions and actually talk about, like, different things that they could do to make these parts better, rather than just saying, oh, it's bad, and then agreeing with someone else saying that it's bad. And that's it. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, comment down below your ideas and your thoughts on this discussion. And guys, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications, or else my crab titan's going to come after you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.